I fall asleep to the sounds of people screaming and
Sure.
Like killed 2 or 3 people, but in wild ways. It's much more like fascinating to me. And
I've been getting pulled more towards like road trips and I don't know if that's just me getting lazier as I get older. It was like, oh, I want to go to like 30 countries before I become like 30 years old, and maybe I just don't care about those kind of things as much anymore. And
traveling is like like when people ask like what your hobbies are, I always like panic because travel feels like saying your hobby is traveling feels, I don't know, like a cop out, but that's my hobby. Like I save my money, I plan, like I always have a trip planned somewhere. I love everything about it. I love even the airports. People hate airports. I love airports. I love road trips. Like I've been trying to do more of the US lately. I don't know. I don't have a preference. I love it all. I just want to see everything as much as I can.
You know, I'll scroll Reddit, and that certainly has a liberal bias, but sources from all over the place end up getting posted there. And then news podcasts, and I'll go on Slate or but like the news podcasts I listen to are either New York Times or Pod Save America, which Politico.
I mean, in the past couple of years, especially with like the political climate and all of that, I've been trying to go along both sides of things. So I feel like I have an equal like perspective of, though I may not agree with the people over here, I still want to kind of try to understand why it is they're thinking that way and this, that, and the other thing. So I feel like I've tried to even out my intake of news sources to make sure I've covered all my bases.
Mostly on the podcast, but it's the same way. Like I do a lot of NPR. It leans liberal. And then as far as like my research on the internet, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's mostly liberal stuff. I'll check Fox News every once in a while just to get a good laugh. But I also have my grandpa who emails me articles like twice a week. He's very conservative, so I use him for my partisan takes, I guess.
That's why I like people watching, is because I love seeing people that like when they're in their own little world and not paying attention to like not being so self-aware that they're like concentrating on what they're doing. They're just kind of living in their own little bubble. Weird little tendencies that people do when they think no one's really paying attention to them. Does that sound creepy? Does that make me creepy? But like staying in their own little world, I feel like it's like, I don't know. I love doing that.
I forget the psychological term for this, but we all get so wrapped up in our own lives that when we confront the fact that every other individual walking out in the world around there has a whole life experiences and family and passions and emotions that you will never, that most people that walk by you in the street, you will never even begin to get to know them. And every person that you see experiences the world as richly as you do. And like for me, sitting in the airport and watching people walk by, it's like constantly being struck with that realization. Who is this person? Where are they going? What is their life? And especially the weirdos. Like, imagine being this person, and that can strike you with some empathy. Maybe you should try it, Ed.